The more you face your fear, the stronger you become. The story of Tony Robbins took an upward surge from being a broke janitor in his teens to being one of the world's best-selling authors in his mid-20s. He was the oldest of 3 siblings. Their single mother was addicted to drugs and alcohol and physically abusive to the point that she poured soap down his throat. How did he go through it? You should find out. Tony Robbins is the world's premier performance coach, a job that requires selling out stadiums with life coaching seminars and serving as leadership consultant to clients like billionaire Theodore Jones and Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, a career he carved out for himself. His early life. Named Anthony Mahavorik by birth, Tony was born in North Hollywood, California on February 29, 1962. He is the eldest of 3 children, and his parents divorced when he was only 7 years old. His mother remarried several times, including a marriage to a semi-professional baseball player, Jim Robbins, who adopted Tony legally when he was 12 years old, which changed the name from Mahavorik to Robbins. During high school, Tony had a pituitary tumor, which made him grow 10 inches in a year. Robbins described his home life as a chaotic and abusive one. His mother is the perpetrator. There was a time she hit his head against a wall until it bled. Tony is an avid reader. As a teen, he had read more than 100 books on physiology, psychology, and philosophy, but his troubled mother often punished him by making him skip school. One Christmas Eve, Tony left home and never returned, though he was 17. What happened was that his mother chased him out of the house with a knife. He started working as a janitor, a handyman, and a mover with no opportunity to attend college. One day, he asked the manager on site, a family friend, how he became so successful after being poor earlier. He told him his life had changed for good after attending a Jim Rohn seminar. Robbins asked the man if he could get him into an upcoming workshop for free, to which the landlord said he could do that, but he won't since Robbins will not place value on it. At that time, Robbins made only $40 a week, and it would cost $35 to get a ticket to the seminar. He made this big decision. He spent his weekly wages on the workshop, and that's how it started. His career. Tony later wrote Jim Rohn a letter asking if he could work for him. Fortunately, Sir Jim Rohn accepted and took Tony under his wing. Robbins began promoting seminars for Jim Rohn. He subsequently learned how to firewalk and incorporated it into his conference. Along with Jim Rohn, John Grinder, a linguist and co-creator of the modeling approach, helped Robbins in his training. Through this method, a trainee succeeds by carefully imitating a successful person's conscious and unconscious actions. In the early 1980s, Robbins began to hold his seminars, which came to be described as temporal revival meetings. Robbins developed a high-energy and more personalized version of what Rohn did that was also more influenced by the behavioral psychology theories he studied. Tony honed his approach on his road through hundreds of seminars across North America, and by the time he was 26, he was a millionaire with a best-selling book. Robbins targeted business leaders, entrepreneurs, and affluent people with his motivational speaking and increasingly emphasizes financial success. His most well-known and well-attended event was an annual 6-day convention that drew thousands of guests who each paid thousands of dollars for a seat. Prominent personalities like Bill Clinton, Hugh Jackman, Justin Tuck, and Pitbull are among those whom Robbins has collaborated privately. Business people including Steve Wynn, Peter Guber, and Mark Benioff had sought his advice. Robbins is also an investor, even in the sports sector. In 2014, he joined a group of investors to acquire the right to launch a Major League Soccer club in Los Angeles called the Los Angeles Football Club. The soccer team entered the league in 2018. 2 years later, he partnered with Golden State Warriors co-owner Peter Guber and co-owner of Washington Wizards Ted Leonsis to purchase Team Liquid, an esport professional gaming organization. Robbins got criticized for a seminar where he indirectly referred to the Me Too movement. The seminar occurred in San Jose, California on March 15, 2018. He said, "If you use the Me Too movement to attempt getting importance and validation by attacking and defaming someone else, all you have done is use a drug called significance to make yourself feel good." he narrated a story of an interviewer who refused to hire the most qualified candidate because she was too attractive and would be a significant risk. Robbins later apologized on his Facebook page. His presence on television. In July 2010, NBC launched Breakthrough with Tony Robbins, a reality program developed due to Robbins' assistance in helping the contestants overcome their obstacles. NBC, however, decided to terminate the program after showing only 2 of the 6 planned episodes due to the low audience of 2.8 million. Robbins began presenting Oprah's live class on the OWN network as a co-host in April 2012. 2 years later, OWN renewed the program for a 3rd season, with the first season planned to be rerun and the new 2012 season following immediately after. A filmmaker, Joe Berlinger, directed and produced a documentary, Tony Robbins, I'm Not Your Guru, in 2015. The documentary was about Tony Robbins' event, Date with Destiny, after filming in Florida in December 2014. It premiered at the South through Southwest Film Festival in 2016. The documentary was translated into different languages from 190 countries. Netflix later released it on July 15, 2016. Robbins Publications. Robbins is a prolific writer who wrote multiple books such as Unlimited Power, The New Science of Personal Achievement, Unshakable, Your Financial Freedom Playbook, Money, Master the Game, 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom, Notes from a Friend and host of others. Controversies and Scandal. The highest percentage of most celebrities are faced with controversies. Robbins isn't an exception. He got involved in legal issues and scandals. In May 1995, Robbins Research International (RRI) resolved with the Federal Trade Commission over an alleged violation of the agency's franchise rule. He didn't admit to violating any law, but agreed to pay $221,260 in consumer redress. 5 years later, he got entangled in another legal issue. Wade Cook sued for allegedly using copyrighted terms from Cook's book Wall Street Money Machine in his seminar. A jury fined Robbins a massive sum of $655,900. However, the judgment was appealed. Both later settled the case for an undisclosed fee. Also in 2012, a news article published by the San Jose Mercury News reported that multiple people had been hospitalized due to burns during one of Robbins' firewalking events. Other media outlets including CNN, Fox News, The New York Times took up the story. These reports were later challenged by Robbins and some of the on-site medical professionals. 2 years later, another report came up that dozens of people were burned and needed medical attention after attempting to walk on hot coals during a firewalking event at a seminar of Tony Robbins in Dallas. Several attendees were moved to medical facilities to treat burns, and a bus was used as a staging area for 30 to 40 people who were less injured. However, a spokeswoman for Robbins' organization stated that someone unfamiliar with the process of the firewalk called 911, reporting the need for emergency service vehicles. She further said there was no reason for emergency personnel, as only 5 out of 7,000 participants requested other treatment beyond what was readily available. Robbins was the subject of a sexual assault complaint in May 2019. He was charged with sexually harassing attendees at events and staff members, including flashing his genitalia to his assistants and grabbing attendees. 9 women came forward at the time to accuse Robbins of sexual misconduct. Robbins refuted the accusations and claimed that BuzzFeed, the news source that first published them, had been looking into him for a year. He continued by saying that the organization had made it plain that they wanted to continue publishing false information with a predetermined objective. When Robbins was a featured speaker at Super Camp, according to a BuzzFeed piece from November 2019, he allegedly assaulted a teenage girl. Although there were at least 2 eyewitnesses, the report stated that the incident occurred in 1985, 34 years after Robbins was 25. These accusations were also made public by other media outlets. Robbins refuted this once more and sued BuzzFeed News in Ireland. However, BuzzFeed News insisted that their reporting is accurate. Robbins has faced numerous legal challenges, but he also prevailed in a 2001 lawsuit against the Vancouver Sun. According to the new publication, the Vancouver Sun labeled Robbins a hypocrite who steals wives from other men, and the Supreme Court of British ruled that this was libelous. The court awarded Robbins $20,000 in legal fees and damages. Robbins' personal life. After meeting her at a seminar, Robbins married his first wife, Rebecca Jenkins, in 1984. Robbins adopted Rebecca's 3 children from 2 former marriages. Still, unfortunately, both filed for divorce in 1998. The same year he married Rebecca, Robbins had a son with his former girlfriend, Liz Acosta. The son, Jay Reck, is now a personal empowerment coach and a trainer. In October 2001, Robbins married Bonnie Humphrey, who later changed her name to Sage. Both live in Manalapan, Florida, where they welcomed their baby girl in 2022. Before introducing seafood to his diet, Robbins was a 12-year vegan. While consuming a diet high in fish, he became poisoned with mercury and came dangerously close to passing away. With a tiny quantity of animal protein, veggies now make up most of his diet. Tony Robbins' philanthropical acts. In 1991, Robbins established the Anthony Robbins Foundation to support incarcerated, young, homeless, hungry, and old. In 2014, he donated the proceeds from one of his books, Money, Master of the Game, along with his personal donations through Feed America to provide meals to needy people. Robbins works with a water corporation called Spring Health, which offers fresh water to small villages in rural India to prevent waterborne diseases. Robbins has helped raise money for a non-profit organization called Operation Underground Railroad. It's an organization that works with the government to fight in opposition to child trafficking and slavery with the assistance of former Navy SEALs, CIA, and Special Operations operatives. We can change our lives. Robbins' incredible rags-to-rich story, outrageous confidence, and unshakable optimism are driven by the almost complete mastery of his thoughts. He thinks the most significant thing holding most people back is their self-limiting beliefs. Having to go through agonizing childhood to become one of the best infomercials and surviving the deadly mercury poisoning is mainly from the confidence that one can do it. What lessons do you learn from the life of this Grass to Grace video? Let's know that in the comments box. Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to update you. Thanks.